Excuse me. Oh man, I started yawning right as I hit go live. Sorry about that. Um, whoo. Hey Gary. Hey Will. Hey Be Like Water. Hey David. Welcome to the show here on a Tuesday evening. CPI tomorrow before the open. PPI on Thursday before the open. And then we've got some inflation numbers on Friday after the open. And then we got retail sales coming up next week. Should be interesting. Very interesting. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any of these financial instruments I talk about. And if you desire that personal financial advice, you should hire and consult a financial advisor, which is not what I'm doing at all. And hit the wrong button there. So, as I said a minute ago, CPI, PPI, coming up, coming down the pipe. And refresh for today. Look like Trump's buying a Tesla. That seems to be all over social media right now. And Joel's Jobs openings came in a little hot, a little spicy, a little higher than we expected. Last month we got the 7.5. This time we got about 250,000 more job openings. That's strong, right? Maybe. I don't know. Looks like President Trump's speaking right now, probably about his Tesla, which one he's going to buy. I don't know. And maybe cause a little sparkiness tomorrow morning. CPI coming in at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, right before the market opens. And we'll talk about that in the morning when we actually have the numbers. But, well, sticky inflation's been sticking around, right? They keep saying we're not going to have a recession. This has been climbing for several months now. I don't expect this to give it up now. Expect to just keep climbing. Keep on ramping. For now, no reason to not to at this point. Keep climbing. Right there was kind of the high we've had, so ran back to there. Sticky inflation. I don't see any reason we don't do that, except that oil prices are down, but gasoline prices are not. So feedstock is down, but the distillates are not. It comes down to kind of a refinery crunch. We just don't have the capacity. So I don't know if we were switching to EVs, oil prices are going down. But now that the mandates to switch to EVs are kind of being kiboshed and killed, does gasoline demand see a resurgence? It's just like a macro trend. This is not a micro. We're not talking about weeks and months here. We're talking about next few years. They were trying to wean everything to EVs by the 2030s. Now we're kind of kiboshing that plan. So over the next 10 years, are we going to add more ICE cars? And then demand for ICE fuel, gasoline and diesel goes up? I don't know. It all plays. So bigger picture, if demand for distillates goes up, that directly puts pressure on inflation to go back up again. That's why I'm talking about it. Interesting, right? It's all a game. All a game. We'll see what they do with that. And then PPI coming out on Thursday. Again, these numbers are a little more chaotic. I don't have the year over year. It's all nice, but the month over month tends to be pretty chaotic. Hard to read much data from here. And if we come bouncing over here, come down to the calendar, out to Thursday. See what we got. Yeah, this one has a year over year. And yeah, we've been climbing. We don't have a long-term trend on this one, but this one's been climbing. See these blue bars? That's an uptrend. Forecasting a little higher. That comes in higher still. How does the market react if we have inflation coming back? I don't know. Now, the thing here could be a surprise to the downside on both of these, on PPI and CPI. A big negative surprise, a big drop in inflation could potentially spark a market rally. And this one's very difficult to see. Not really able to distinguish the trend out of this one. And very difficult on this scale to tell much of anything. So that could see that spark. An interesting. We've been climbing a little bit. That one looks like they're estimating basically this stay the same. Forecast was 2.9. Forecast 2.9. What if we get like a 2. What if it drops on down like 2.7 from the 3? Drop back to December level. That'd be pretty wild, wouldn't it? That could spark a big market rally. Everybody thinking that the Fed might cut. All speculation at this point. Here's what we got, though. Talking about the actual charts. This potentially made a low. Got an initial move up. Broke through a downtrend of highs that we had cooking. Came back to test it right here. And then we closed the market. 1, 2, 3. All looks pretty good so far. Pretty good potential. So on the very small micro scale here, looking at the downtrend of highs, we broke out, bounced off of the 5-minute roadmap line, came back down to test. If we can hold it, break back above that high, potentially go up higher. Now, overnight, a little bit sloppier. Just close this out. New software available for my truck. Interesting. If I install that now, it'll be ready to go home in a little bit. Give me a second here. Dun. Handy dandy, you can just like pop on your phone, just install whatever. Let's see. Click the button to install. That's still downloading. Anyway, downtrend highs we had cooking most of the day, starting at 8 this morning. Downtrend. And we kind of back tested it. Got close right there with that low this afternoon. Rally, back test. If we hold, break back up through that 5-minute roadmap line. This one actually probably topped at the 15 minutes, I'm betting. Yep. Right there. Tagged it. So when we break through those highs, if we're up in here tomorrow morning, signals we might have a positive reaction to that CPI. This low could be in place. We'll see. Hey, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber here this evening. All right. Make sure you're subscribed so you can make requests when we get to that point. I will give priority to channel members. We'll run through a few market things, and then I'll take requests. So hold off your requests until I get to that point. Otherwise, I might lose your request. So just take it easy on me here in a few minutes. So we keep grinding the low here. We filled the gap from back here. Tested just a little bit lower. And as I speculated this morning, we might be gunning for that 618 level right there on ES. It's entirely possible. We might get a dip tomorrow morning that takes us down right there on that CPI before we can bounce. That was entirely possible. Entirely something I talked about, and it shows up on S&P 500 also right here. Shows up right there. That low from August to the high right there in February. 618 retrace. It's a classic spot where we might retrace and hold right there. If we get below that 76 down here, likely we're going to extend further down. All right, that's kind of the parameters that we're playing with right now. Potential to bounce here, but I'm not sold yet. Hadn't really been any kind of retrace on the way down. Just been down, down, down. One little blip, and then more down, down, down. It's been a rough correction, right? Been rough. Anyway. Nasdaq already hit the 618. Right there. We held it. We hit it this morning in the wee hours, and we've held it. That might be indicating we get a pop tomorrow on CPI. We break out up through the roadmap line, backtest, and get the extension. The fact that we did the 618 retrace here puts the bigger upside potential all the way up here. So we may pop up, retest, we extend up in here. All right, now, for those of you used to me doing the roadmap line bounce thing, the 618 kind of trumps that a little bit on targets. Usually you see me draw it like this, and that high was all the way back here in December. This was a lower high. Usually we go like that, but because we did a 618 bounce right now, this unlocks the potential, if we're going to break out, for a bigger upside right there. Like bonus level unlocked with that deeper retrace. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth wave truncated. And this is the beginning of the down. And we continue this down for the next decade. That's the risk we run. How do we know? We'll start getting clarity on this next rally. If we pop up to these 618 zones and we reject, go lower, this correction is probably going to last a good long while. Good long while. By long while, I mean possibly the next decade, maybe 2, before we ever go higher again. If we get up here, that's probably going to be the high that lasts for the next decade or 2. So it's either we've already got it or we're about to make it. That's the bad news. Good news is you got me to give you what I think along the way. How reassuring, right? Make sure you're subscribed. Keep coming back for more. So that's a key critical resistance point right in there. Get above it, probably cruising on up. Reject off of it, start heading lower, not great. And what I want to see is I want to see 5 waves up into that area and really want to push through. I don't want to just go 1, 2, 3 and then reject. That's bad news. Not good. Not good. No bueno. Niche kits. All right. Yes, it's pretty much the same situation right there. If we pop up, if and when, see, we didn't hit the 618, but so it's entirely possible we might dip tomorrow. That is the highest high right there in February. That zone right around this 618 level right in here. So if we get the rally up in a 3-wave fashion, like we're going to move, move, move like that, turn down, not good. We break through here. That gives the opportunity for those bigger upside targets, probably 6,600 for SPX. Now, I still expect below 4,000 before we go above 7. I don't expect us to break 7,000 this year. Don't think it's happening. Then we're going to go down below 4,000 on the next correction before we ever go above 7. That's the bad news for SPX. And these are the futures. Why do I use futures? Because they're going to open back up at 6 o'clock here in just a little bit and keep ticking all night. Whereas the cash index won't open back up until tomorrow morning at 9:30. Russell is down to my target zone. I expect this to bounce back up and find resistance at this zone right there. I expect this to do a three-wave move while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq potentially go higher before this rolls down. I expect this one to stop in this zone right here and not go any higher. Expect it to underperform. It is outperformed to the downside. Expect it to underperform to the upside, not make a higher high, and then roll on down. Oil, just chopping around here, hanging out right at the low from September. I do expect us to go dip lower than we were back in May 23, almost 2 years ago. I expect a lower low out of this move. We may just mess around here for a few days and then spike it down and then reverse. I expect a lower low than that low back there in May 23. Just what I expect. I don't think we've come all this way. Why not just make it a lower low? Clean it up. So something under 64. Clean this all up. Let us go higher at this point. This has been a big, long correction off this high from all the way back here in March of 22. So the last 3 years, we've just been in a correction on oil. You can say it doesn't feel like it, but believe it or not, oil's been a downtrend for the last 3 years. Brent, right here, hanging out at the lows. It's actually made the lowest low. So this one indicating that we might be about to turn right here. What's the difference? This is West Texas Intermediate in Cushing, Oklahoma delivery. This is European delivery oil right here. London Exchange, I think it is, for Brent. Gasoline. This is wholesale futures price for gasoline without taxes added. That's why it's significantly lower than pump prices. And we're hanging out right under the roadmap line. Been here for 4 or 5 days. It's kind of supports. We might pop, break back higher, rip this up. Now, oil hanging out down here, but gasoline way up here. Gasoline can spike higher while oil spikes lower. That'd be a total mind bender for a lot of people. It's entirely possible. All right. Remember, it's back to what I said. Distillates are the bottleneck here. We actually have a potential to do a 618 bounce here and take gasoline prices much higher. Right there. Very similar to ES and NQ. That move up off the lows. Retrace to a 618. We could spike it down while oil spikes down. Just spike it to the 618. Bounce. Potentially push this on up to $3 a gallon wholesale. Right like that. That'd be a wild move right there. Wild move. What would be the socioeconomic reasons? Don't have any. Just shows up on the chart right there as a potential. Now, if we break down below the 618, we can crush this down to lower lows, back down around $1.80. It's entirely possible. Heating oil is back down to the uptrend lows. Might hang in here. Already broke down below the 618, but this is, remember, anything in between the two blue fib lines here could be a measured bounce. So this still hangs in here with the potential to rally up here to about $3 a gallon, roughly. If we get really spicy, 320, 316, 320 a gallon on diesel fuel, which is heating oil right there. Natural gas spiked right there, 480. I kind of expect this to plummet out with the agreement in principle for a Ukraine deal that they just announced. If you weren't paying attention, announced a agreement in principle, military aid to resume immediately. Just saw that right before I came on live. Gold just hovering, offering no clarity. Made an initial move down. We made a retrace, holding the 618 into the close. That very easily, you know, it could pop and drop. Like this is the tough thing. We made this big 4-day drop right there, 3-day pop back up, then a micro drop and a micro pop. So it's got retraces both directions, and they're holding 618s both directions. Makes it very difficult. We either pop or we pop. Pop up or pop down. I don't know. I give it higher probability to correct. That would give it more energy to go higher, especially since we hit the long-term target zone right in over here. Took a little longer to get here. I made my educated wild guess that we get there by, you know, December last year. It took us till February this year. Still got the level, off a little bit on time. Silver, same situation. Like this would look best if we just do one more little deep retrace here. We've retraced, we've retraced, we've retraced, we've retraced, and we're just hovering right there. This did make a slight higher high right there today, but the close was right back down. Ugh. One little pop down, and then we can take off. That's what that looks like. Now, one little correction would clean up gold and silver very nicely and set it for a bigger rally. Copper, on the other hand, still consolidating right here. Unable to push through these highs very definitively. If we can get the thing to do it, and this is starting to look like 1, 2, 3, 4, potential 5 up, then we may retrace to the roadmap line after we complete whatever fifth this is. Retrace the roadmap line, do a 618 retrace, back down in here, and take it higher again. Maybe. Maybe this can pull it out. I've been pretty bearish because when you zoom out and look at this, looks like a big 3-wave move. And this looks like corrective 1, 2, 3. Very easily, this looks like it could drop on down. I've been expecting a drop, but it's just not been doing it. It's just been hovering, 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 hovering. Not really breaking out, not really breaking down. Just hover, hover, hover. That's why I don't trade the downside. I just wait for it to do it. Corrections can take way longer than you expect. Lumber, not looking great, but we're getting a spike, even though housing has been in the toilets. It's kind of interesting, if you ask me. Been seeing housing just get decimated. Home builders and supplies, but lumber taking another rip here. Now they changed this contract. It used to be different during COVID when we had these giant spikes, and this one's not really been. It doesn't have the long-term history anymore. We can talk about all sorts of other things. Bitcoin is. Let's go to the all-time history. Bitcoin potentially made a bottom. Now, you wouldn't know it on this chart, but if we go look at the futures chart, check it out right here. See what we did right here? We made a gap. Look what we did the last 2 days. Filled that gap. Right there. Filled the gap. Beautiful place to bounce and go higher from. So we'll see if we can break back above this downtrend of highs here. Just coming down rapidly. Get up there. Actually break above. Get above the 618. We could see some extension. 115 would be my next... Just my next rough guesstimate where we're going to head. Maybe find some resistance. Depends on how we set up the next move up and retrace. It could push the target on up to that 170 area. 150, 170. Yep. Could be setting it up. Still well above a 618 or even a 50% retrace. That would take a little bit more spike down. But... that if we just echo that move right here, we just copy this move. After we kind of copied this correction. Kind of copied that correction. See how close that was? Look. Did it faster, but see how close we copied that correction right there? I just drew that line and copied it up there. Right there. Very close in size. So if all we did was copy that extension, puts us right up there in the zone. 150 and 170. All we do is be copying that move right there. Beautiful. Beautiful potential. We can hope. Moves are never exactly the same, but that's the whole basis of most of the trades I do. We echo moves in the market constantly. Ethereum, on the other hand, not looking nearly as bullish. We are down below support. I urge extreme caution here. There is giant risk that this gets cut in, basically loses 66% of its value. Like drops down to about 600. Oof, that'd be rough, right? Right down in here. If we get below these lows over here, we run a giant risk of dropping out. Be careful on Ethereum. Other cryptos, I'm probably not going to talk much about. I do a crypto power plays update for the week. If you're a member of that, you get that analysis every week. Nothing's really changing. I'm not very bullish on any crypto at all. So there's not going to be anything great I say about any crypto. Even ones that people are hyped up on like HBAR or XRP, not very fond right now of any crypto. Solana looks like it's been damaged pretty bad. So just throwing that out there. If you request a crypto, I may or may not choose to go look at it. It's not been very good right now. Ethereum definitely damaged. Bitcoin has the potential, but it's not performing at all. Sitting at the lows. So there's not much to say there. All right. I said below 4,000 before we go above that 7,000. That's still my viewpoint. That doesn't mean we won't rally up to 6,600 first, but still below 4,000 before we go above 7. Top may or may not be in for S&P. All right, we're at that point where I'll take requests for at least 30 minutes, probably an hour or more. Please use a complete ticker. I'll give priority to channel members. And there's not a ton of people on the stream, so we may get through this quicker than normal. Please use complete tickers and 1 per person per request. And then we'll come back around to regular channel subscribers before I wrap it up. So ZN1, just chopping, sitting on right on top of the roadmap line here. We did back test, popped up, back tested, potential to break higher, go up to 112.07. I don't know how to quote. Not great at quoting interest rates. Support right there. We break down. We may go lower. This looks like 3 waves up off the lows. That's the cautionary here. That move, that move, that move. Hit the 1272. Not a bullish move. This may actually go lower. We start breaking down, support right there. Get below that, we could expand it on down in here. So the attempt and the failure today adds some ambiguity to it. If we come break back below the roadmap line, support down around 109.02, 109, get below that 109. Probably coming on down to 106 area down here. Alrighty. KX. Oops. Finger's going the wrong way. KX. Cool. I should just hit enter. There we go. KX looks like we're going to retrace the roadmap line. Pretty solid there. That was the high, that was the low. We hit the targets, and retrace would be my expectation right there. Not hard. Next up, Tesla. It's down below supports. Here's the next layer of support down. Right around this 210 area. As long as we're maintaining above that, still opportunity to go higher. We start getting below 210 though. It's probably going lower low, at least lower than that low, and probably lower than the low that we made before that one. Back here. That's what we got cooking right now. This did break down below what I expected. And sometimes the tea leaves don't tell me what we're doing. So I apologize to anybody that's upset that we broke down. It's kind of I'm always outlining where we might break down when we got below the roadmap line. That was the high we wanted to stay above to be immediately bullish. We crushed down through it the last couple of days. 210 is now support we need to hold above. Comes back all the way over here. It's kind of a flip point in the chart. We get below 210, probably coming back to the lows. That's what we're looking at right now. Big picture. There's still opportunity that if we were to break down below that 210 area, we would hold right in this 180 area. Right there at that uptrend of lows. But if we got below that, that's like the last line of support, really, before we go crushing on down. That was a 3-wave. That was kind of maybe 3-wave-ish. So 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, deep retrace, overlapping. So this might be a diagonal of sorts. If it is, we see this, then it's likely to do another big down after we get the diagonal completed. I expect the diagonal to complete somewhere around the 500 to 600 area. At this point, it's the best I got right now. That's just ripping through what I see on the chart. We rejected that. We tried to hold on to that prior high. We had that 1, 2, 3 lower highs. We popped right through it, came back tested it, and then dropped through it. And that was the initial uh-oh. We've definitely come way on down from there. So, kind of the support zone right there. Can we hold that box and turn? Or are we going to drop through it and go make a lower low? Don't have a big answer for you right now. It's definitely increased the odds that was the high we're going to have for a little while. This deeper retrace definitely increases the odds there. Now, diagonals, if we're going to hold the diagonal, that's the last line right there. We don't really want to see it get below that and back test it from underneath. Otherwise, that's the big red flag that we're going lower on Tesla. All right. Mora is down at the lows, hanging out. Has the opportunity to go down. There's the support. There's the resistance. Nothing changed from last week. There you go. Where's it going? At this point, no clear path. Sideways would be kind of what I expect. At this point, unless Bitcoin starts breaking out. As long as Bitcoin just hangs out, just hanging. Celsius banged its head on the roadmap line. Retraced to a 618. Has the big upside potential. Measure bounce setup right there. I am long 100 shares, just sitting on them. Upside potential to 52 on the next move, if we can break out through the roadmap line. We did do a deeper retrace. That pulls the ultimate big picture target down just a hair. if this is going to be a big picture bounce from this move, retracing, that would set us up for a 215 area. Right now, the intermediate, smaller time frame, maybe out through the summer, 44 to 52 area would be what I expect. May pop up in there, and pop up there, then retrace, hold the roadmap line, and then go on the next move. It's got to do all those things. It's got to hold those levels. They stay on the path. And McDonald's, MCD. We hit the target. Shoot, man. That was it. We hit it. Retrace back down would be in order. Now, do we hold the roadmap line? This has been rallying while the market's been taking a dump too. So, do we hold the roadmap line and go higher again? Or do we break down below and go on another deeper retrace? I don't know. That's why I don't usually trade the downside, because these statistics on the pattern don't always, like a reversal from here, there's no big statistical advantage there. I believe it will come back to the roadmap line, but we can always hold shy. We don't have to go hit it. We can come down, hold like a 4-hour roadmap line. It's entirely possible. Could hold there, could hold a 1 hour. That's where we are. That's where we closed. And we've been holding the 1 hour. So, no clear path, but I do expect probably a bigger retrace before we take another bigger move up again. That hit. I mean, boom. Hit on Monday. Nice move. That high, potentially down here. That would set us up for 331 after we did the retrace back down to 292 area. Let's see. AVGO. Stuck at the roadmap line. We can get off here. We have resistance right there. Then upside up there. Or potential down. There you go. Simple as that. Not much to tell. And SSO. Where does she stop? Good question. So we've got potential on a bottom anywhere in there. Down to that prior high right there from 24. Then potential to bounce. Now, if we don't hold it, potential to really take a big down here. Oops. There we go. Somewhere in there, maybe. If we're not going to hold this right here. Don't hold there. Potential to come down in here. For SSO. AMD. Still waiting on the reversal here. We basically did the big measured bounce. We hit it today. Look at that. Nice. Fully hit in there. Just been waiting for the reversal to actually take shape in the market. This big up. That was bullish. Bearish correction. Next move up. Big potential. Target way up here. You'd be like, yeah, right. But that's what the big upside potential is on AMD right now. Right up in there. LII. Pushing lows. I don't like it when we close with a flat bottom. That's not great. So potential to get continuation lower. How low? I don't know. That looks pretty played out at this point. That's a monster move right there. And we played out pretty much It could come back to that 515 target right there. Pretty easy. And not much else to, like, it hasn't really done many pullbacks, so not much, no major areas of consolidation. I would sit there and go, yeah, that's where I think it'll hold. Now, this may be a case where this was the 1, the 2, the 3. We may get a, let's turn on one more fib line, or 2 more fib lines. Could find support right in this zone. On the bigger retrace. For a wave 4. If this was a 1, 2, 3, this does a 4, we could mess around in here for the next long freaking time. Possibly out the next year. And then push on up for a 5. Possible. I don't know. Difficult to project. That's played out to the upside for me. And ROL. ROL. Rollins. Also hitting targets here. Potential to go to 56, but also potential to retrace back to 50. We hit those targets. Retrace potential. There's also extension potential. Which way? There's no high probability. We did the high probability thing, which was go from here to here after doing this. That was the high probability target. 35% chance we're going on up. That leaves what? 65% chance we're going to retrace down. Which is not, I mean, that's not great odds for telling which way it's going to go. Alrighty. Hitting the next one down. WWD. Remember, channel members have priority. Then I'll circle back and get everybody else. Woodward has potential to hold support at the roadmap line. That high, this low, came up, holding, still upside potential around 208 if we're going to get the extension. This will be resistance, and there is the target zone right up in there for WWD. And Celsius already did. More already did. It's okay. Got to the bottom, so I'll circle back and get everybody else. And start with IBM. So now channel members, you're just like everybody else. So IBM, looking for the retrace back to there. FLGT. Ooh, rejected off the roadmap line. Probably going lower would be my expectation. Big downtrend. 14, 13, 14, maybe. Not great. J&J. To the upside. Yeah. It's not breaking above, but there's all the resistance going up. Got that level where we're stopped. Got that level, just like 176. That level, 182, 181. And that level, 186. Right there. Those are all those prior high swing highs. We were in a big downtrend channel, trying to break out. If it fails, coming back down, potentially the bottom of the channel. Got a lot of layers of resistance going higher. Right there. That's J&J for you. ASTS. Sitting right there. Potential to pop 43 or bust it on down to 14. It's kind of right in the middle too. No clear bias on that. We've not been going higher. I mean, as long as we're above the roadmap line, that would probably be more likely than that. but it's tough. Tough right there. No clear picture with the way it's just chopping right there. Walmart hit the roadmap line. Beautiful. Retrace. Love it. This is one of the reasons, this one at Costco were two of the main reasons I gave wrong number that I think we probably are at or near a bottom if we haven't bottomed already. This one, there's the resistance, there's the extension, and we retrace and extend further like that. Costco, just to throw it in the works here, same situation, same. That one did the retrace, hit the roadmap line, left a gap though, right there. Got to get back up through that gap. Potential to go up here. Retrace, potentially extend if we're going to be super bullish or come back down. It's the first time this has been here in 2 years. So they run the two, between Walmart and Costco, they run the two biggest warehouse clubs. I mean, that's how it goes. FMC. Wow. Resistance here, support down here. Downward bias since we're way below the roadmap line. Not my kind of play right there. Coin. It's at the limit. Oh, got a hold level right there. I would put my level. I put my alert at 173. Get below 173, probably going down lower low, 130. So this is really a need to turn it here. Got to get back above the roadmap line to be pushing upside. It's the below 173. I think we're probably going down to 130 on coin. SoFi. Yeah. Below the breakouts. Not good. That opens up the door for the bigger retrace on down. Uptrend of lows puts that potential to come back down in here. Big three-wave move. Very similar. I was talking about some other stuff there. That's SoFi for you. Marvel got whacked. Still expecting this to come on down to this level right there. We could bounce right here. It's possible. I was expecting just a little bit. I put this big orange box on here for a reason. I was looking for the ideal level to be right down there at about 56. Yeah, 56.42. If we do that, we set up a larger upside. I mean, we're kind of already in the ballpark to set it up. Activates that upside potential right there. Seeing that on quite a few things like QCOM and MU, all setting up this bigger upside potential. So DOMH. No idea. It's a dumpster fire. Yeah, dumpster fire, be careful. See how this trades under the roadmap line, under the roadmap line, under the roadmap line, reverse split, pop, probably coming back down to zero. Hate to talk crap about your stock, but piece of garbage. STZ. Potential to bounce. There's the resistance on the downtrend of highs. Measured bounce, setup. If we can get above the highs, upside potential up here. Another one with the giant upside potential. FLD. We're talking about long time, like months and months, maybe even next year. Some of these can work on that while the market's doing a bigger correction too. That's a SPAC and piece of crap. Probably going lower. EEM. Emerging markets hanging out right at the roadmap line with lower highs, higher lows. Probably expected just to stay around this 42 to 43 area. Not a lot I expect on that one. SIG, almost to the target. Well, it's basically to the top of the target. Maybe as low as 39. I've had that target on there for a little while. Crazy we did it. Watch for reversal. How did I know where to put this? That move right there. Copied off of that high right there. It's just an echo in the market. And the extension to the 1272 would be right there. So how did I get the fib lines? Use the 3-point tool right here on my toolbar. Comes from the tools over here on the, well, that tool, sorry, right there. 3-point tool. Click 1, 2, 3, and then it gives me the projection right here. Boom. That's a 1, 2, 3. So getting in the weeds a little bit tighter. How far might we extend this down? 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2. It doesn't have a 4 in here at this point. We definitely exceeded what I would expect on a 3. We need a 4 consolidation, so this thing may do this for a little while. A number of months. Maybe meet up with the roadmap line over here sometime late in the summer. And then set up the final move down here. Like that. That would be the A wave in Elliott wave speak. This would be the B wave in Elliott wave speak. And this would be the C wave. And that would be the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 of the C wave right there. 2s. This is where the roadmap line comes in. 2s and 4s typically will hit the roadmap line on their way to the target. There you go. That's SIG for you. BMRN. It's pharmaceutical. Be careful. Messing around with the roadmap line. Biotech, pharma, all kind of falls in the same realm. Food and Drug Administration messes with them. Approves, denies drugs. Makes it incredibly difficult for them to follow the patterns. That was a giant 1, 2, 3. Has potential to be done, but it also has potential to drop on down to that area down here. And CRDO. That was cool. Crash the browser. And possible to be done. Possible to extend it on down. Just a little bit more. And possible down to 36. If we're done on this correction. Resistance is right in here at this point. And Microsoft. Target still just below us. We may truncate. We're in the vicinity of hitting. Did expect it to go ahead and hit 375 at the minimum. 380-ish at the close. The low, what did we actually get? 376.90. What's $2 among friends, right? Was that close enough? I don't know. It met the requirement to be lower than this low right over here. Satisfied that requirement, which was lower than this. Can truncate and reverse. How do you know when we're done? Back above the daily roadmap line, back above the 618, and then we can go on to bigger targets. Bigger target at this point for Microsoft, the extension now becomes here to here. Break back above that 618 where all this consolidation kept rejecting. Break back above that. Could go up to 483 up here. A lot to do. You could go long here. Stop down here. 356. Looking for 480 on the upside. Why the stop down here? I mean, you could stop here, but you might get stopped out on a spike reversal. I would stop out below that 1272 because if we get below that, we're probably going on down here. It's probably not coming back anytime soon if we get below that 355 area. There you go, Microsoft. SMCA, still expect that to go lower. Down here. On the roadmap line, consolidating. Expect that, even though there's potential we could hold the uptrend of lows. So that'll be the watch out. Like if we break back above, we could go on up, make a new high somewhere around the 80 area, 82, 85 maybe. My big picture, I would expect a lower low somewhere around the $10 to $15 area. Lower than that low right there in November. Now this stuff was from before we did the reverse split, or did the split, excuse me. It was all downside targets before we did the split. If you have any doubts, I've been looking for this big correction for a long time. We just did the big splits and reduced everything by 10. Factor of 10 divided by 10. All right, moving on. BZ. Popped it. And target on up at 48, possibly 48 area. Watch for the resistance, maybe even up to 51. And looks like we already started retracing off of that. So roadmap line sets up the next potential move there. That high, that roadmap line sets up that next target. So it's kind of funny how this works. Like there was the retrace, there was the extension, there's the retrace, there's the extension, there's the retrace, there's the extension, something like that. So there you go. There's the resistance and support coming on across as this comes up. Like that. There's the market back open. 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Moving on down. JP Morgan. Where's it holding support? Maybe back down to the breakout level. Really close. Watch for that to have some green days here. We can turn it. Potential going up to 288. Be good. MSTR. This looks like it wants to reach on down. Here's the support target zone right in here. I removed it off this morning, but there's the target zone right in there. Almost got there. If Bitcoin maintains weakness, we may see that spike down in there. Has the potential to have double, triple bottom and break out of here. There's the downtrend highs. We got a breakthrough. So resistance right there, that line. Support right down here. If we get below that, come on down to 150. There you go. I warned that we were probably going to go on down here in this vicinity when we bounced off it right there. We had lots of downside potential. All right, ain't it? Yeah, that potentially hit the bottom. Right there. Does have another support zone right down in here, though. If we don't hold that, coming on down. Right in there. Heard another one of my guru friends really got upside down in this one. Wasn't expecting that. It's unfortunate. Pretty clear on the chart. So we get below that zone. Potential to come on down before we find a bottom. Resistance right there. Around the 95 area right now. We can get above the 618 area. Upside could be up to 144, 150, but right now, downward bias since we're so far down below the roadmap line and not finding any support at all. Just lower and lower and lower, 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 lower. So down here, 66 area. Sorry, anybody that is on that one. Long ZM bounced off the bottom of the roadmap line. Danger. Support would be down here. Like that. Danger, 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 danger. That was a three-wave move. 1, 2, 3. Was really high, but this starting to look a little more enthusiastic to the downside. Somewhere back in this 60 area would be where I expect it to come on down to. Doesn't mean it can't turn and burn here, but right now we rejected. Gives me belief that we may extend it on down. Potential we bottom here, but also potential we extend it on down. Didn't do the bounce. Couldn't clear the zone. So there's the resistance at this point. All right. 2TD. Ouch. I got whacked. Down below the bounce zone. Next line of resistance or support. Support. Next line in the sand right here. If we don't turn and break back above this, now probably going lower. 32 in the cards. Glow. Back to the roadmap line. Ciao. Full hit. Pulls that resistance down right there. Get back above that zone. Conservative entry for the target right up here at 67.50. Gonna take a move up, break through that resistance to get there. Otherwise, more support down here at the bottom of these lows. Since we've already poked into the highs. Right down there around 1750. For Oklo ABSI. Choppy sideways. 3-wave down, move up. Probably gonna get a lower low. 1, 2, 3. Right down here around $1.70 to $2.30. Somewhere in there. This is low price stuff. Low price stuff doesn't always follow the pattern. What does it mean? It means equities under 10 bucks. So when you have a stock that's under 10 bucks, doesn't always follow the pattern. That doesn't apply to cryptos or futures. Just stocks. Lululemon. Push through the roadmap line. Bummer. Goma. All right. Do more work. Probably coming on down to this level. Got below the roadmap line. Duh. So the cool thing here, that reaffirms the big upside target there. I'm sure. That move up, that retrace. Yep. Reaffirms that when we break back above the roadmap line, we may be setting up the bigger upside targets. Right up in there. All right, that's Lulu for you. SLV, already did silver earlier. Has a mixed bag here with a going back to the roadmap line potential. Somewhere back in here, 27. Be what I expect. Possible. Now, we also have the bigger potential off of that. This high, this low, this high, for dipping on down to 25. So if the roadmap line didn't hold, potential going down here, but there's also the potential to rally on up to 33 at this point for the next extension. All right, that's silver for you. My man is a piece of garbage. Reverse splits, dumpster fire, absolute dumpster fire. Lower highs all the way across. Reverse splits galore. I would not expect this to recover ever. Probably going lower. Probably going to do another reverse split out here sometime. There you go. STBBI broke down. It's unfortunate. Probably not going higher now. Probably going to make a lower low. Busted the pattern. That's lame. Had such a good upside potential. Probably not done on this correction now. Can easily drop on down into the $4 area. Back to the lows. CRWD. Crowd strike. Let's see what we got cooking here. I want to see that hold in that zone right there. We're close. I'd love to see that dip just a little bit more. Set up that bounce. Take us higher right there. Get a lot of these mega upside potentials showing up in the charts. And already did BMRN snow. Sitting right in the vicinity of the roadmap line. Look for the bounce. Not showing up yet. This may be a 5-wave up. Like it could have a 5-wave up off the lows and be doing the 618 retrace. That low will be the low. That high is the high. Would be looking for the retrace back to the gap right there. Hold that 618. Push in there. It sets up the bigger upside potential. It's going to sit on that long term. I have a long term. I have one share and I have a long term call. There's your supports for the bigger upside potential. Right there, potentially even up there. Right like that. Go, daddy. Back to the roadmap line, holding higher low. There's the resistance at the gap and the target at 224 for now. If we start breaking lower, support maybe down here. Right there at 150. MGM. Finally hit the downside target. Beautiful. Potential hold here. If we don't hold, here's where this gets sketchy. If we don't hold here, it may go on down here. There's the potential to reverse here, but potential to going even lower. That's been just in a sideways chop for 4 years-ish. And maybe even longer. Like, yeah, I mean, look at that. I always do this. Zoom out. Stock has gone nowhere for a long time. It's one of those, the further you zoom out, the worse it gets. And it's basically gone nowhere in 2 decades. That's not giant opportunity to do anything. That's a big correction. That's a lower high. There's potential for this to go lower than we did back here in COVID, which was down to $1. So, that's not good. That's not COVID. That's a housing correction. COVID was right there. Housing correction. COVID, $6. So yeah, still, it's basically one move up, retrace, second move up. That's a chart I wouldn't mess with. Just wouldn't mess with it. Dash, DoorDash. Back to the roadmap line. We're almost there. We might miss it. Could be the bottom in place. How would you know? Break back about the 618 zone right there. At 195. And 220 would be the upside. GEHC looked like a piece of crap this morning. Going nowhere, but sideways. Sideways is what I would expect. Did more data dog. Going correction. So we have potential to bounce here or dip a little bit lower down to 91 and potential to bounce there. If we get below that, next support down here. And if we get below that, going lower, back down to the 50s. Upside targets, if we do the bounce, somewhere up here right now, 210. Possibly even up to 280. If we get down to the 618. BA, hunting the next low. Push the limit. That was the limit right there. We get a close below that, below 145. Not looking good that the bottom's in place. Now breaking back over the roadmap line sets in motion this bigger potential move I've been kind of talking about. Up to this 250 area, we pulled it down just a hair. Break back up, roadmap line, retrace, retest, get above it, sets up the stage for that, retrace, and then bigger target, probably up to 600. This is lining up too good. Usually we top out wave 1 right below the prior wave 1. We've wanted the next bigger move, so this may be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we get a 2, comes back to like the roadmap line. Then we get the bigger move. Yeah. Something like that. Powell. I have not taken a trade on BA. Just too many other things for me to get involved in right now. Powell just sitting here. Not really participating the last couple of days. So resistance at the roadmap line and the 618 there. Get above that. 410 on the upside. CRM, Salesforce. Oh, big deep retrace. Got below, we may go deeper. Missed the big upside. Blew that. This is starting to be impulsive to the downside. Be careful, we may be heading down to this area. Right down in here. On Salesforce. STZ already did. Recognize that. And Z for Zillow. Request 2 tickers in one. I don't look at them. And we're sitting right on the roadmap line. 618 line right there. Everything's still the same. We almost hit the level I thought we'd retrace to. So we're just splitting hairs here. Where's the bottom? I actually have an alert sitting there at 69.36. If we can break back above. There is a gap down resistance there that's kind of sucky, but you know, we'd gap down like that. So we may gap up through that to get to the target. There you go. High probability? I'm not super convinced yet. I don't have strong feelings that that's is going higher from here. This was very overlapping so far. I did take that trade from back here up in here, and we've not really gone anywhere since then, so. Not sure. Netflix, it has the potential, but Netflix basically tried to hit the roadmap line. We might go ahead and do it in the next couple of days. Like if we get that big flash down in the morning on CPI, we might hit it. That could lead to, and it could just truncate and be that close enough. I mean, we were like pennies away, maybe dollars away. I don't know. Let's see. What was the low there? The low was 854.50 and 850. Yeah, so like $4. Missed it by like $4. $3, $4. Potential for that to go up to this area on the next run. Resistance right there. Like that. Here's Netflix for you. QCOM stuck in a rut at the bottom end of the range. Just sitting, consolidating. Here's the support zone. Here's the resistance. And we're just going sideways. Nothing changed. That and MU doing the same thing. Just going sideways. Same thing. ZM, I thought I already did that one. Sitting at the roadmap line. Downside right there. TKO. And support at the roadmap line. There's the high. Here's the low. Maybe dip on into the roadmap line just a little bit. We didn't fully hit, doesn't look like, but we have right now. We have resistance right here. We get above that 185, possibly 192 on the upside. Oracle. Boom. I don't know, man. Sometimes I get it. There was the upside. We didn't do it. There was the downside. We hit it perfect. Dang. So now there's the high, there's the low. Break back above. And we got all this nasty stuff in there. Back above that 618 level. 172.94, basically 173. We get daily close up there. Set the move for 208-ish, 207.89. And then probably retrace. It's books. Back to the roadmap line. There's the high, there's the low. There's the resistance. All right, there. Bounce. Get through. Potential 120 on the upside. And the support line running across here. Don't really want to see it go much lower than here. Otherwise, it's probably game over for the rally on Starbucks. And BCAR. Just stuck right in the middle here. Lower highs, higher lows. Nothing. Coin flip. At this point. Breakout, breakdown. I can't say with any certainty. It's not a reliable pattern for doing either thing at this point. A, B, C, D. Yeah, I would watch it. Like if we do that, hold right there, it may break out. That's possible, but A, B, C, D, E. If we do one more and hold there, could break down. Unreliable. I call that a watermelon seed squeeze because it's like squeezing a watermelon seed between your fingers. You never know exactly where it's gonna go. Dill already hit that. Pretty sure we talked about going lower. Path. Probably going lower. PCT. That's a setup for going lower. 1, 2, 3. We get below this zone. We can make a lower low. BCE. Resistance right here. And I don't know. I mean, down. Fudge. So we got that low, that high. Potential to hold here, but pull it up just a hair. If we get below that 26 area, we're going on down. So we need to turn back above the roadmap line. Right there. There you go. There's your resistance. There's your support. Break that. Going on down here. It's BCE. Looks pretty bearish. It's been decimated pretty hard. ALC. That looks like we're gonna take a spill on down here. First move down, the retrace. Boom. Come on. Ah, come on. There we go. Finally. Something like that. All right. CMG. Target is down. Down. Still going down. Whoa, we're almost there. Golly. First drop. Retrace. Second drop. We're so close now. Oh, did that make a lower low? Let's see. It was a low. 5108. No. So close. Needs to make a lower low. That's the ideal target. Looking for that one more flush. So close. I've had that on the chart for a while. Once we do that, it has a bigger upside potential. Up here. We need to finish that up though. So close. So close. GILD. And resistance right there. Watch for the retrace to the roadmap line. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I just rolled it off the top. Awesome. BMY. That basically hit the upside target. There. Watch for the retrace. Could hold the breakout and extend it, but if we don't, back to the roadmap line will be what I expect. Somewhere over there. MTN, Mountain Vale Resorts. Oh man, what a. Whoa. Just gonna try my patience here. It pushed the limit here. If we go back below that, probably come in lower low. Resistance is right there at the roadmap line. Get above that. Got more resistance right up here. And if we get above that, bigger upside potential. ALE, still hunting the low. We hit that, but no signs that's done yet. Next extension, 63. No sign that's done yet. Nope, skip one, BZE. Cool. Rove. BZE didn't. Oh, BZH. Dang. Keep hitting the wrong. Well, that's 1, 2, 3. Potential to go back down. Is this a REIT? No, just a home builder. First move up. Retrace. Man, we didn't even get to the corrective move up. Ugh. Bad. I guess that looks better. Not on the log scale. But what that makes it look like is we're going lower than the low. Right back here. Yeah. Yep. Probably gonna keep chopping. That was probably the high, and we're probably coming right back down into this crap right there. That's what that looks like. Nike. Potential to bottom out. We didn't fully hit the 68, so that's still in play. There's the resistance. Look at the daily chart. Interacting here. Break back down. Lower low. I don't know. We did this once before. Looks eerily similar. We made a lower low last time. Wouldn't surprise me to make a lower low this time. Not overly bullish at this point. Meta. Roadmap line in play. Bounce resistance right up here. There's your resistance. Get above it. Target up there. 760. Bounce down. Downside around 500. On. We didn't even bounce at all. Still think that looks best if we dip on down. Looks best, like that puts the 618 right there where it looks really good. Looks like a really good spot for it to be. But it's going to take a dip on down to that 36 area. Not sold. That's not good technical analysis, but that's what makes the chart look good. Wouldn't surprise me. C. Boy, that took a big retrace. Almost down to... prior 618 zone. That may be a 5 up. This could be a retrace into this zone. Right there. Do usually see money flowing into financials ahead of... It did back chest the breakout right there, breaking out of that. Potential to go higher, but may come on down into this zone right here. So we do see money typically flow into financials ahead of financial earnings at the beginning of the quarter. Next earnings coming up right here. Second week of April. A little over a month away. That money flow usually starts about 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks ahead of the end of the quarter. 1 to 2 weeks. So somewhere in the next 5 to 12 days, we could start seeing money flow into financials. But it doesn't have to do that. So be very, very careful. The sign that we're going to actually get a big reversal in the market is financials usually start popping. So if it's going to be a rally that lasts, we'll see stuff like Citibank, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. We'll see all the money flow into those banks. And WFC is another one. That also has support right down here, a little bit lower. Right down there where we broke out from, right there. And BX Blackstone. Target right down there. CSGP. Nothing's changed. Nothing changes on most of these day to day. Downtrend highs didn't mean anything there. It's just sitting with the potential to go lower on CSGP. APO. Yeah, you're welcome, Dinah. And back down into the prior how we broke out from. And there's not much to tell here. So we're going to retrace that back down. If I was making an EWAG, it would not surprise me to see this retrace back down to this level in here before we bounce. If we bounce. If we break down below it, take it back to the low, back down around 40. And nothing clear on that one. That looks like exponential up. And 1, 2, 3. Pretty wicked. And we got, might find support here before we push it on down. map line, like or potential to break higher, like that. There you go. I let that on APO. And NVIDIA. Where's your support zones? Ding, ding, ding. Right there in a row. Right here. Right here. And right here. This could turn, but proportionally, it looks best if we dip on down here. That move, that move, that move. Yep. Lines up. So potential to bounce here, potential to bounce here, potential to bounce here. We're close, so it could bounce. There's the roadmap line, downtrend of highs, all kind of coming together. Key resistance if we're going to go higher. Didn't do the rocket ship. Just busted that. Wrecked it. Wrecked it. Been looking for the bigger, deeper retrace. Yeah, we could come on down to 42, so we don't hold that. Careful. Hate to say I told you so for some people, but told you. Watch out for the correction. It's going to happen. Somebody told me never go back down. Estee Lauder. Still looking for that $40 correction. ABNB. Dang. Already did Walmart. ABNB. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Way to mess it up. Higher lows, lower highs. Mucked it right up. Gosh darn it. Just messed it up. Messed it up. At this point, it's unclear what we're about to do. That was a diagonal. Big retrace. Nasty move up. Retrace. Potential for this to be 5 up and a deep retrace, but we're going to have to really prove it at this point. My primary expectation would be that right there. A nasty chart. Yeah. Way to mess it up, Airbnb. Take such a good pattern and then just wreck it. Absolutely wrecked it. No opportunity for anything. At least not right now. And yeah, Amazon. Potential for downside. Oop, I typed that in the wrong window. Broke down below the roadmap line. That was where I expected it to go. We are in this support zone. If we bounce off of it, we can get those higher prices, higher target up here around 250. If we crush down below that support zone, probably coming down here around this 150, 160 area down here. Had that on the chart for a while. J&J already did. Amazon, Elf Beauty is down below the targets. Next target down, 20 bucks. A long way down. ISRG. I'm almost to the end and about to wrap this up. That was a monster move up. Bounced off 272. I expect a monster retrace. Probably going to come all the way back down into the breakout zone. Fibs. So this cluster of fibs right in here. Probably going to come back down and revisit that. Then do we get support there and turn higher, or do we go on a bigger, deeper retrace from there? That would be my guess at this point. Now, there is potential we hold that 1618 fib. There's, if we can hold 480, excuse me, there's potential we hold that and extend this on up to, like, that is a potential pattern. It's just not typical, but if we're going to climb the fib ladder, we may do that and do that and do that. That's entirely possible. Entirely possible. So I watch for breakdown below that 480. If it maintains any kind of daily close below that, we're probably coming back to retest the breakout level here. Otherwise, we can keep grinding it higher. So, all right, that's it. That's it for tonight. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll be back 9:15 in the morning. We'll go through, look for morning movers, stuff moving. We'll check out the CPI, see what's moving. CPI, the PPI on Thursday when I have a live studio audience. I'll be live in front of a live group on Thursday morning and Friday morning. And for those coming, I'll see you there. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great week. See you again next time.